In 1942, as distant skies thundered with warplanes and the world groaned under the weight of global conflict, a quiet revolution began, not in speeches or gunfire, but in the clink of a copper coin. From the heart of Colorado, the Denver Mint came alive, stamping millions of small, brown coins, the 1942 WWII pennies. At first glance, they seemed ordinary. Lincoln's steady gaze watched from one side, while on the other, two stalks of wheat stood like sentinels, curving protectively around the words 1 cent. It was a familiar sight in the hands of grocers, mechanics, and school children, but behind that simple design was a quiet urgency. Copper was no longer just for coins. It was for bullets, radios, tank wiring, everything the war machine demanded. Each penny struck from 95% copper was a small sacrifice from the home front. The Mint had begun exploring other metals, wondering what could replace copper without failing in people's pockets. Still, the 1942 D penny survived, one last breath of the old world before change took hold. Over 206 million of them were born that year in Denver. They slipped through hands buying war stamps and ration sugar. They jingled in soldiers' coat pockets as they kissed their families goodbye. They were tokens of normal life in an abnormal world. And then came 1943, and with it the steel penny. Lighter, silvery, strange. But those who remembered 1942 knew the copper days had ended. Now, in 2025, the 1942 D lives on, not in battlefields or headlines, but in coin albums and collectors' drawers. A worn one might be worth just 5 cents, maybe a quarter if it's lucky. But find one untouched by time, glowing red like it did the day it was struck, and its value can soar. $15, $100, even $12,000 for the rarest, brightest gems. They say history is written by victors, but sometimes it's carried in your palm, in a quiet little penny that remembers everything.